If you want to cultivate the immortal way, you must first cultivate the human way. Who said that cultivating immortality involves killing people, seizing treasures, and pursuing profit only? This is a demon thief, not a fairy. If a person abandons his conscience as a human being, what kind of path can he practice? What kind of immortal? A chivalrous person uses force to violate the law, and a fairy hero uses force to violate the laws of heaven. If the way of heaven is partial and there is no reward for good and evil, then I will change it. As the tides of the martial world surge, where does the path of chivalry lead amidst blades and shadows? Chivalrous Way tells the tale of an ordinary boy stepping into the martial realm, seeking justice yet entangled in the trials of fate. Will he remain true to his ideals or be lost in the schemes of power? Open the book and embark on this soul-stirring journey of honor and destiny. The battle for secret treasures. Under the setting sun, dark cloud shadows appear. In a green bamboo forest on the outskirts of Zhengzhou, the afterglow casts thousands of red threads from the leaves and branches of the bamboo forest, and the cool wind blows by, making a rustling sound. The scenery that is usually soothing now only has an icy coolness and an atmosphere of tension that is about to break out. In the bamboo forest, a total of 4 people from 3 parties were confronting each other. With his back to the setting sun was a white-haired old man with an eagle nose and narrow eyes. He was thin, and his whole body was hidden in a dark, mist-shrouded robe. One withered hand held an old and simple bronze short staff. Opposing him were a man and a woman wearing white Taoist robes with silver brocade trim. 2 sword lights, one red and one white, were swirling around their bodies. But sandwiched between these 3 people was a little beggar in ragged clothes and unkempt hair. The little beggar is not like the other 3. He has an ordinary appearance and no magical abilities. But in his tightly held hands, there is a strange jade stone. This small jade stone is full of brilliance. If you look closely, there seems to be a red flame burning continuously inside the round bead, while the smooth and jade-like surface has a layer of azure brilliance from time to time, like the waves of the sea. I didn't expect that the majestic leader of the Yinji sect would actually be reduced to robbing a child from the mountains. It's really sad. The man who spoke was the man with the red sword light. The old man chuckled. Don't pretend to be serious, you two. Don't think that you can be a righteous person just by wearing a white robe. You don't need to trick children. Everyone knows what they think. Why should the eldest brother talk about the second brother? That's it. You two should leave quickly before my good mood disappears. If you weren't worried that killing someone would pollute the spiritual energy of this treasure, I wouldn't have such patience for so long. Sectmaster, there is no need to pretend to be normal. If the Sectmaster is really okay, he would have taken action long ago to kill people and silence them. Why would he waste his time with us 2 young cultivators? The woman smiled brightly and pointed out the other party's disguise keenly. Oh, do you really think that I can't kill you too? Huh. Even if I'm injured, you are not a good casual cultivator, and I have spent 10 years of hard work to get rid of you. But I may not be able to kill you too. The faces of the man and woman condensed, and they seemed to be equally concerned about this matter. The other party had a well-established sect and got into trouble constantly. In normal times, they would have escaped long ago, but the treasure in the hands of the young man was too tempting. It's hard to let go. If you miss this opportunity, you will never see it again in your life. Taihei jade beads. These beads come from a kind of jade clam called shihei in the East China Sea. Shihei jade clams are hidden in the springs of the East China Sea. They are hard to find in the world. However, the jade beads themselves have no special magical effect. When worn on the body, they can only remove moisture and remove odor. Function, but this is one of the 6 martial arts holy places, the founder of Juhua Emperor Garden, with a total of 6 items. Qi, 5 of which were given to the 5 friends who helped him found the sect, promising that as long as someone comes with the Taihei jade bead in the future, he can make him do one thing, no matter how difficult and dangerous it is. He will try his best to complete it. The immortal has passed away, but how can the majestic Juhua Emperor Garden betray his trust? As long as he brings this bead to his door, he will definitely fulfill his request. The male and female monks stared at the jade bead in the young man's hand and recounted the origin of the bead. Their eyes glowed with a burning desire for possession, as if they were in the hell of greed. The old man said in a gloomy tone, "People die for money and birds die for food. The treasure is indeed precious, but you have to be alive to get it. Even if you two can snatch this bead from me, I'm afraid they won't be able to escape the pursuit of the Yinji sect." The male monk said firmly, "If we let this thing go, we will be nothing more than a pile of bones in 100 years, and we will inevitably die. But once we have this thing, maybe we can use it as a requirement to join Juhua, Huangyuan. You can expect a great path from now on." A look of disdain flashed in the old man's eyes, and he sneered, "You are really short-sighted. With the qualifications of the two of you, even if you become the direct disciple of Juhua Imperial Garden, you will not be able to achieve a great path." The female monk said solemnly, "So what? It's better than not having any hope now. If you work hard, you can gain 100 years of work. But if you don't work hard, there will be nothing." The old man finally realized that the other party's determination could not be persuaded by words, and he was deeply moved. He took a deep look at the Taihei jade bead in the young man's hand and suddenly smiled. "You two, don't be too proud. Even if you grab this bead and even escape the Yinji sect's pursuit, I'm afraid you won't be able to send it to Juhua Emperor Garden." "What do you mean? If I release the news, how many people will be able to resist this temptation?" "You!" Both the male and female monks looked shocked. If the news is really leaked, the beads will definitely change hands to others. At this time, the old man laughed and then said, "Now you and I don't want to eat this food alone. Even if we go to war again and attract other people's attention, Taihei Yuzu will never even think about it. In this case, why not you and I each take a step back?" The male and female monks were not fools. They also realized this problem and asked in unison, "How to retreat?" "At my age, even if I join the Juhua Imperial Garden, I won't be able to achieve much, and I have no plans to quit the Yinji sect. So forget about the requirements to join the sect. What the two of them want is nothing more than the opportunity to prove the Tao. It is not necessary to join the faction, not to mention that there are many factions in Juhua Emperor Garden, and the two of them have no helpers. After joining the faction, they will only be eaten to the bone, so it is better to stay at ease." I don't need you to remind me about this kind of thing. If you have any ideas, please tell me." The old man chuckled. "Everyone knows how powerful the Holy Land of martial arts is, and it takes its reputation very seriously. Even if you have to write 8 chapters for this pearl, it is impossible to read the Dao scriptures. But if it is a 7-level scripture, it is not difficult. When the time comes, everyone will read it together and the benefits will be shared." As soon as these words came out, the male and female monks looked at each other, and they roughly guessed that this would be such an idea. Although it was worse than joining Juhua Imperial Garden, it was safer, and more importantly, it tied the interests of the 3 people together. "Zranya, don't worry about betraying it to outsiders." The two hesitated for a while, and finally nodded seriously. "Wait a minute, this bead is obviously mine, and I have a share in getting the scripture." The 4th person present spoke for the first time. The 3 people who had reached an agreement were stunned for a moment when they heard this, and then laughed, but ignored the protest. "How to deal with this little beggar?" the female monk asked. The old man said lightly, "Although he is an ordinary person with no skills, just to be safe, just silence him." The young man said angrily, "This bead was left to me by my adoptive father, and you just want to steal it. Don't you even understand the truth?" The 3 of them then moved their eyes from the bead to the owner of the bead. The ragged young man's face turned pale, but he still held the bead in his hand tightly. In this situation, where everyone is like a knife and others are like fish and meat, they can still do it. It is indeed rare to have the courage to protest loudly without saying whether the behavior is naive. Do you like the world of novels? I am following your story of immersing myself in the ocean. Subscribe to unlock more exciting plots every day and good book recommendations that you can't miss.